You know, it's Baton Rouge dumb shit. When I'm full of rep and be full of red rum, bitch.
Welcome to That Rec. You already know it's your host PayDae, and everybody loves PayDae like the 1st and the 15th. Y'all know your girl gotta always come through and put y'all in that rec business, and today ain't no different, even though I wish it was. You heard me? But look, before we get off into this good old content, I need y'all to do your girl a solid and go ahead and hit that like button. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. That way, every time I drop anything, you will be notified. Okay? Now, while y'all do that, I'm going to go ahead and get into this story. Now, this one is a lot. And y'all know when I tell y'all it's a lot, okay? For one, this is one of the bloodiest weekends that I have ever witnessed Baton Rouge have, okay, in my time of living. Now, we are not strangers to violence, okay, but the last 4-5 days down here has been crazy to the point that they had to do and say this.
WAFB, your #1 local news station. This is 9 News.
Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Liz Coe. Right now, city leaders are holding an urgent press conference about recent deadly shootings in Baton Rouge. In fact, let's get you out live to where that's happening. This is Agape Missionary Baptist Church located on 75th Avenue. That's just around the corner from the scene of a deadly shooting last night. There you can see the Baton Rouge Police Chief getting ready. TJ Morse there, Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome. You see members of the Metro Council, leaders with Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, and members of the community. BRPD calling this press conference to address the string of shooting incidents around the city. You can see that's live there now. You can actually watch that press conference streaming right now on the 9 News app and the WAP Facebook page. In fact, we just sent a notification to your phone with a direct link to watch it there on your phone. WAP's Miranda Thomas is also there. We'll share the latest at the end of 9 News at noon. Now, this is one of the homicide scenes authorities are expected to talk about there. This was the scene of a deadly shooting less than 24 hours ago on 75th Avenue. We now know 23-year-old Tedric Owens was shot and killed around 3:30 Thursday afternoon. We also know a second victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Then hours later, BRPD homicide detectives called out to this scene, this time 72nd Avenue near Plank Road. Right now, officials confirm one person was taken to the hospital just before 10 p.m. No word on their condition. Right now, authorities are still looking for a suspect and motive in this case. Then this morning, around 4, police and paramedics called out to another shooting on South 14th Street near Government. EMS tell us they transported one person to the hospital. Now, our crew was there as someone was being loaded onto an ambulance. We're told the victim is expected to be okay. If you have any information on any of these shootings, call Crime Stoppers at 344-7867 with your anonymous tips. Now,
Man, that's crazy, right? So one article came out February the 9th, which was a Friday, saying last 24 hours in Baton Rouge, 9 people shot in 6 shootings, 2 of them unalived, right? So in a 16-hour time frame in Baton Rouge, 9 people were shot in 6 separate shootings. Of the 9 shot, 2 people were taken out. So starting around 3 p.m. on Thursday, February the 8th, officers responded to 2 double shooting scenes, while 2 others included 1 victim at each scene. Earlier in the day on February the 8th, 18-year-old Tyree Everson was shot multiple times and unalived on the porch of a home. Then, 3 hours later, around 3 p.m. on February 8th, there was a double shooting in which 1 person was unalived on 75th Avenue. Okay, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound like I'm rambling for a few, but I'm not. I just want to give y'all a clear lineup on how rapid this was happening, like in the time span, okay? I will go more into depth on most of these, in a second, but I just want to give y'all a clear lineup, okay? So the article goes on to say, it was just before 10 p.m. on Thursday, February 8th, when officers responded to a double shooting at the Howell Place Apartments on 72nd Avenue. 1 person was found shot in a vehicle, while a second person was shot in the hand. A third person was injured, but not from the shooting. Instead, they were injured running away from the scene. All 3 people were transported to a hospital. About 2 hours later, just before midnight, 1 person was found shot twice in the front yard of a home during this shooting, Bullets also hit a home in the area that was occupied at the time, but no one inside was injured. So then around 2 a.m., officers respond to a call at DJ's Club Elite on Tom Drive. There were 2 men that were shot and transported to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. One of the injured was found shot inside the club. Around 4 a.m., a man was shot in the back while riding a bike. He was shot near the intersection of South 14th Street and Bonham Avenue. He was transported to the hospital and his condition is unknown. But things continue to get crazy even after this. So let's get into a rapper that went by the name Iraq, okay? Okay, so let's keep in mind that all of this happened within a 16-hour time frame, okay? Now, the first case I'm going to speak on is a rapper that went by the name Iraq. He went by this name, I'm assuming, because he only had one eye and he was from that wreck. So I'm assuming that's how he got Iraq, okay? He was unalived in a church parking lot. Now, we're going to speak on him first, okay? So let's get into Iraq and his story.
Alright, I don't want this to be a one night stand, but in your life I just know I'm a bad influence. We probably both gon' go back to what we was doing. Your heart not telling me exactly what your body language showing. We fuck for hours and strangers the next day. Talk to my heart, baby, fuck with the text. We fucking wrong, taking each other breath away. But if I knew that this would be the only time, I would've counted that and told you I want you to make love to me. 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 Yeah, I thought you were innocent. Ain't think you was fucking with Iraq because I'm ignorant. You can do our shit and just stay out each other businesses. But I ain't trying to get back into that predicament. Trying to come, your name was back. Yeah, so I should've known.
Okay, so this is Tedric Owens, aka Iraq. You can see, he is missing one of his eyes. He did get into a little trouble in the past in 2021.
LSU police need you to take a good look at your screen there. They're searching for 3 suspects and a person of interest in connection with an incident where someone fired a gun outside of Spruce Hall on Saturday. We're told it happened around 10:30 in a lot outside of the building there. If you can identify any of these folks, you can call campus police or crime.
Him and 2 other guys, they were coordinating a meetup with some guy who was trying to sell a vehicle on LSU's campus. And something went wrong. I don't know if they were attempting to rob him or if they just got into an argument. But basically, him and 2 other guys blocked their car in and started shooting at them. So they were being looked at for attempted first-degree red wrong. However, on the day of his demise, which was February 8, 2024, him and another guy were standing outside in a church parking lot and were gunned down around 3:30 p.m. He didn't survive, but the other guy did. The other guy ended up in critical condition, and they haven't reported on his condition ever since then. Okay, so next we're going to talk about Tyree Everson, who was 18 at the time of his passing. He passed away the same day as Iraq, which was February the 8th. Now, his unaliving was a little bit before Iraq. His happened around noon. Iraq was around 3 p.m. So, Tyree Everson actually had a younger brother who was unalived just a month before he was. His younger brother was unalived on January the 1st on New Year's Day. We will talk a little bit about his case only because the family believe that they are connected. So the 2 brothers, his younger brother name was Romeo Cozy. His name, of course, like I've said before, is Tyree Everson. After finding out that Tyree had passed away, their stepfather came out basically saying that he's desperately tired of the violence in the community, and their mom spoke out basically begging the community to stop, unaliving each other. I can only imagine how hard it was for her losing 2 sons, especially at such a young age. They didn't say too much about Tyree's passing besides the fact that he was found with gunshot wounds and he died on the scene. So we're going to talk a little bit about the brother Ramee Cozy for a second.
Unfortunately, it's been a violent start to the new year. Baton Rouge police are looking into these several different shootings that have all happened since Monday. One of them left a teenager dead. We've got team coverage on this. Gabrielle Mercurio has a look at how the community is already responding. But first, let's start with Elise Corville in the Alert Center to explain how we got here. Elise.
Now, the Baton Rouge Police Department are looking into 3 separate shootings since Monday. We're told in all the shootings left 2 dead and 4 hurt.
Less than 24 hours after ringing in the new year, Baton Rouge Police Department began investigating the first homicides of 2024. Monday afternoon, detectives say 4 teens were walking down West Brookstown Drive when someone started firing shots at them from a car. 15-year-old Ramid Cozy died at the scene. The other victims were taken to a local hospital.
It's an unfortunate thing that's happened. It's not only the victims themselves that are affected, it's the families that are affected.
We have learned Cozy was a freshman at Estruma High. The East Baton Rouge Parish School System said in a statement, quote, "This senseless tragedy has left a void in our hearts as we begin the process of grieving and healing," end quote. We're also told that grief counselors will be on campus when classes resume. BRPD Lieutenant LG McNeely says the other teenagers hurt in the shooting are working with detectives, something he says is beneficial to solving cases like this.
We have some bit of information that we have gathered from the victims. There are specific altercations that are occurring between various groups. This was not, I repeat, was not a random shooting.
Just hours later, police say someone fired a gun into a home on Sherwood Street, sending glass flying. We're told a minor inside the home was hurt by the debris. Our Major Assaults Division, they're working that particular case, reaching out to the neighbors, asking if they have surveillance security cameras at their house, and we're going to use all those resources in an effort to find what we can.
Estruma High School community is trying to figure out what to do next after a freshman student was killed on New Year's Day.
Elise Corville had the opportunity to speak with some school leaders. She joins us with this. Elise.
Now, under normal circumstances, the first day back after winter break would be a standard one. But for the Estruma High community, they are going back without one of their own.
A kind smile, a leader on the field and in the classroom. That's how those who knew Ramid Cozy well described the young student.
It's just heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching, and it knocks the air out of you.
The 15-year-old Estruma High freshman was shot and killed New Year's Day. His principal for nearly 3 years, Yolanda Burnett Langford, says the hallways and classrooms just won't be the same without him.
He was a leader on our campus, loved amongst his peers, as well as the adults in the building. Just an overall great kid with a very big personality.
According to police, Cozy and 4 other teenagers were walking down West Brookstown Drive when a car pulled up and someone began shooting at them. Cozy died at the scene.
It's very painful, and it lets me know that we have to do more.
More counseling, more partnerships, more resources. That is what East Baton Rouge Parish School Board President Darius Lannis says he wants to see. He says although this is not the lesson they wanted to teach students, it's the lesson that needs to be taught.
The longer we wait, these types of things continue to happen and our students suffer, and we can't continue to do that.
He says the goal for 2024 is to come up with a plan surrounding student safety off campus.
We're not just talking about when they're inside of the 4 walls of our schools, because they have to also go home. And they have to also come back the next day.
According to school leaders, Cozy didn't just excel in the classrooms, but also in extracurricular activities. He leaves behind 47 brothers on the Indian football team.
My mind goes to Ramid, my mind goes to Ramid's family. Then I got to think about my other sons on the team, the other 40-something. How are they dealing with it?
Monday night, head coach Sid Edwards messaged his team, offering them a chance to meet up and talk Tuesday. Edwards says he grew up near Estruma in the 70805 zip code, which is not the same today as it was when he was young.
No lie, we got out for the break on December 16th, and my concern immediately became worry. 15, 16 days without him. And we can't be everywhere all the time. So it's counseling, it's mentoring, it's talking.
And counselors will be on hand starting tomorrow and into next week for all students, teachers, and faculty and staff.
Very unfortunate situation. They both were so young. But yes, these are both of the brothers sitting up on the screen. Like I said, the family feel like this was connected. But let's go ahead and get into the arrest that was made in Tyree Everson's unaliving.
Related to a shooting that left an 18-year-old dead earlier this month.
NBC Local 33 Sudan Britton is live at State Police Headquarters with more information on this shooting. Sudan?
Good evening, Renee Jacob. I'm here live at Louisiana State Police Headquarters. Now, earlier this evening, they had a perp walk with the suspect involved in the shooting that happened February 8th with Tyron Everson. 18-year-old Tyron Everson was shot and killed February 8th. Now, the suspect, Marvin Legans, 18, was arrested on multiple charges, illegal use of a weapon and second-degree murder. Now, as he walked in handcuffs, he didn't say anything or express any emotion on how he felt. But what we do know so far is that he was arrested on multiple charges, and they so far have only one suspect involved in the shooting for Tyree Everson. Now, we do have a clip earlier of that perp walk, so you can take a look.
Like, why? Why? Why is y'all killing like y'all ain't got no home training? No morals, no value, no nothing.
Now, earlier, the beginning of this month, January 1st, his brother, Ramad Cozy, was shot and killed not too far from the same area Everson was shot and killed. 3 juveniles were arrested on that incident. Now, police tell me that multiple other suspects could be involved, but this is all still under investigation. They don't know what possibly could have led up to the shooting, but we'll keep you updated on air and online at brproud.com.
Okay, so they did make an arrest in Tyree Everson's unaliving, and they also made a few arrests in Ramad Cozy's unaliving. They arrested 3 juveniles. Of course, they would not reveal their identity because they are juveniles. It is still undetermined whether the 2 cases were actually related. Last but not least, this is the last case we're going to talk about that happened this weekend. This is a juvenile. His name was David Atkins, and he was unalived 2 days after the other ones that I did. They passed away on February 8th, and he passed away on February the 10th. Let's get into his story a little bit before we end this video. Sadly, David Atkins, who had just escaped from the juvenile detention center, was unalived while he was on the run. Atkins escaped alongside another 17-year-old, and both of them were locked up on murder charges. This was Atkins' second escape from the juvenile detention center. In the first escape on November 14th, 2023, Atkins and another 17-year-old, Jeremiah Green, fled from the facility. This particular time, which was the first escape, they were able to escape after an 18-year-old was transferred there from an adult facility and a fight broke out. Atkins and Green were apprehended after a manhunt of more than 24 hours. Atkins had been arrested on account of first-degree murder, but had later been charged with second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder. Green is awaiting trial on a charge of attempted second-degree murder. Atkins, who is to the left, is accused of murdering Gregory Cotton, who is 28, and attempting to murder Kentrell Malloy. Green is accused of attempting to murder Portia Rising. According to reports, Cotton, which was the 28-year-old, that was unalived by Atkins, it says that he was shot by a 15-year-old during an argument at a mini race the day after Hurricane Ida, and Cotton ended up passing away 5 days later. Okay, so now let's get into why and how Atkins was taken out.
Details on that deadly shooting over the weekend. Baton Rouge police tell us this suspect, 19-year-old Travell Burris, and 2 other teenagers are now facing murder charges in the death of 18-year-old David Atkins. Police say Atkins was shot and killed on Washington Avenue over the weekend. We're told Atkins had been on the run since he escaped from the juvenile detention center back in November. Police tell us they are now looking at new ways to stop juvenile crime and to turn young adults away from violence.
We're steady looking at the 21st century policing technology and techniques. Our new chief of police and our mayors collaborating with other law enforcement agencies as well as partners in the community to continue developing better ways to keep our streets safe.
Baton Rouge police say the shooting may have stemmed from a robbery. Now, Burris and 2 other juveniles are facing first-degree murder charges and armed robbery charges.
Man, I'm praying for my little city because it's toe up. But before y'all leave, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed this video and you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and turn your notifications on. As always, I love y'all. Love, live, and let live. Okay, I'll see y'all on the next one. A real renegade out. You heard me?